today's Saturday the 5th of November. We're exactly 1 week away from the Classic Motor Show at the NEC, and the Turbo is on display there. I'm very pleased about that. However, bit of a problem. Thames Water have put a hosepipe ban on, and it's been on now for about 3-4 months, which means I can't clean the car or prep the car for the show, and there's no way, for the first time of having a car on display at the NEC, that it's going to go there dirty. So we're going to go and see my friends at Zirconite, and they are going to do a full professional detail on it. Chris and the team at Zirconite have not seen this car before. They've done no pre-prep on it. Literally, it's been sat in the garage for about 4 months. I've opened the door today, pulled it out, and I'm driving up to see them now. Oh, and you might just be able to see the dogs with me as well. If you've watched any of the videos on the prep of this car, you will know that she cannot be left anywhere. Willow, will you shut up? Willow's come with me, and she doesn't like the fact that I'm talking to the talking to the camera and not. And my 360 camera is now about to fall off the back of the car as well. That's what that creaking is. Recently upgraded from the 361 X2 to the X3. The X3 is a lot more bulky than the X2, noticeably more bulky, which means it's got a lot more weight at the end of that invisible selfie stick pulling it down. God knows what I'm getting now. Provided it doesn't touch the car, I don't mind. Oh, we're here! In here, get back. No, this is not your 15 minutes of fame. Bagger off. Get back there. Right, we're here at Zirconite. The dog, I've dropped the dog around the front. Chris should be here. Chris,
Tim.
Hello.
Hey,
how
buddy.
are you?
I'm alright, buddy. I'm good.
Voila.
Wow, here it is.
Ta-da.
Nice.
Well, it's all right. It looks better when it's clean. I mean, it's been.
They always do.
Yeah, I know. Well, that's why I'm here. Funnily enough.
That's why we got a job.
Yeah. It's going to the NEC Classic Motor Show next weekend.
Yes. Yep. We've got a couple of cars there, so it's been nice.
Oh, that's
to see.
good.
Yeah.
As you can see, it's a bit. Well, it's covered in dust from sitting in the garage.
Yeah. Yep. And a bit of the Cotswold roads on it already.
Yeah. Oh, it likes to lock itself as well, so I'm going to give you a set of keys as well.
Please do. Yeah, that would help. No, it looks great. Oh, that's awesome. I haven't seen one for a long time, so.
No, you haven't seen the car either before now.
No, well, I know that you've got. I thought you were bringing a red one. So yeah, this colour's cracking as well. That's gonna pop when we finish with this.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What's the plan with it? Wash it?
Right, so the plan would be we'll wash it first. We'll do a Decon wash on it, so that's got a couple of chemical processes to it.
Yep.
Then once we've done that, we'll have a good look at it inside, inspect the paint. We'll make a judgment call in terms of whether it needs clay barring or not. We'll look in regards to paint depth, levels of swirls and stuff, how much polishing, if it needs any. If it needs some, then we'll do it, obviously within safe levels, just to make the paintwork really zing.
Okay.
And then once that's all done, it'll be panel prepped down, and then we'll coat it and protect it for years to come. So that's the plan.
Okay. It's a bit of a weird colour, this. It's Aurora high voltage. It's the only one I've ever seen in this colour. Yeah. But you could say, oh, look who's got out here then. Yes, hello, go on. Get back in there.
Come on, in.
She's like, no, Dad's out here. Here is proof that everything is not scripted.
Oh my God.
Come on.
She's like, no, I want to be with Dad.
She come back in?
Yeah, she's run back in there. So this is, the colour's Aurora high voltage. It's the only one I've seen in this colour.
Yep.
And I'll be honest, a lot of the time it looks black. Like if you stand away from it.
I can imagine
it does
in
look
bright light, it
black.
looks very, very dark, and then you get the sun beaming off of it, and it really
I mean, it's
pops
going to
up
be
dark.
indoors, so do you reckon it'll... I'm hoping there's going to be some good lights inside, and we'll get it to really pop.
We've got some fairly substantial lights in there. You'll be all right.
No, but I mean at the show.
Oh, at the show, it will. Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, the NEC's all right. I mean, we've been there before, and they've got some pretty good overhead lights once they get them all up and running.
Okay.
Once they warm them up a bit. Good. I'm excited.
You know it's dirty.
Yeah.
Should we go make it more dirty?
We're going to go and have a play.
There she goes.
That picks up well. Grips well as well, doesn't it? Hey, those brakes are still warm from our little journey now. Let them cool down a bit.
They are a little bit warm.
20 minutes later.
So why do you always start with the wheels?
The wheels should be done first, mainly because they're the dirtiest part of the car.
Right.
So what you don't want to do, and you should always have a separate bucket for wheels, is you don't want to cross-contaminate any of the stuff like brake filings and dust onto the paintwork, because that will scratch the paint.
Right.
So that's why you always have a separate wheel. What I'm using on your wheels here, because they're relatively clean anyway, they're not, you know, they're not hugely pitted or contaminated. So I'm just using a product which is a fallout remover as well as a wheel cleaner.
Mm-hmm.
And this one's a pH neutral one, so it's not, you know, for people who've got expensive wheels with ceramics and stuff like that, ceramic brakes, you don't want to use acidic stuff on them. So these will be nice and easy to clean with this. But you can see it's already starting to pull out all the iron and brake dust particles, and that's that colour change on it, because the product itself, when it goes on, is clear. So yeah, that's why we start with wheels first. Hey, back in the day when wheels were nice and easy to clean, rather than the spokes that we get now.
Well, I really like these wheels. These are fan blade
Yeah, I like them as well.
design. But they're all very, I don't know, people seem to either love them or hate them.
I like them because they're nice and easy for me. You know, when you're doing stuff like spoked wheels on old classic cars, they look great, but they do take some work, shall we say. Quick rinse. And on we go.
So you've moved on to bodywork now. Wheels are done.
Wheels are all done. All I'm doing literally now is just jetting the car off with a bit of water just to get some of the dust off that it's acquired and some of the road grime, and having a look at the water behaviour of it. So clearly you've got some form of wax or something on there. Is that what you normally use?
It has had Auto Glims 3-stage snow foam on there, so it's had the Polar Wash Blast, and the Polar Seal on there.
Yeah. Which is why you're getting some good hydrophobic effect. Hydrophobic is when it beads up and runs off. Yep. So that's cool. We'll strip that off. Now the fun part.
What's this here now?
Snow foam. Well, this is a little bit of a cheeky mixture, actually. We're using a little bit of Zirconite's nano shampoo with another product that we have, which is called Super High Foam, which is a traffic film remover with snow foam in it as well. The reason I'm using that as a product to start the wash process before we do a contact wash is to draw down as much dirt as possible. But with Super High Foam, what it means is I don't have to go around the car twice, because I don't have to do a pre-wash because it's effectively already in here.
So you're using a cocktail on my car?
A little bit of an experiment, but nothing we haven't played with before, if that makes sense. So, stand clear.
The comments will be, that's not very thick snow foam.
No, well, one, your car's not overly dirty, so I don't need a hugely thick snow foam. And in terms of its behaviour, in terms of how it's running down, you've already got Polar Blast, Seal, etc. on there, which we're going to strip back and take away before we coat the car. So you get that kind of beading effect when we were spraying it down because of that product. You know, it's a great product. It's, you know, it's available from Halfords and all those sorts of places, but in terms of where we're going to take the car next, we need to take it off. So, but yeah, if you want to see some thicker snow foam, we can chunk it up. That's no problem.
I think yes.
People, there's a great. It's how thick should a snow foam be? Well, it doesn't need to be super gloopy thick. You know, we've used a relatively light version on your door. We could put thicker snow foam on. And that's pretty thick. It looks cool for things like Instagram and YouTube and what have you. And is it really going to do much more work? Not really. You're over diluting the product to a certain degree, just for the social media benefit. But it's a fine balance, you know. On our products there are correct dilution ratios. It's been tested to death to make sure that it works at that ratio in the best and most efficient way possible, because if you're over diluting, which we've done just for the sake of the video, just for a crack, then ultimately all you're doing is spending more money on your car rather than actually cleaning it. It's not so good for you, it's great for us as suppliers. Hey Tim, you said you wanted a white car.
I'm about to say, I've got red ones, I've got a black one, I've got a purple one, I've not got a white one.
You have now.
Is that not the most satisfying thing you've seen? Oh. Right, you've turned my car white, Chris. What's next?
That's it, now it's finished. Basically what you're looking for with a snow foam is you want to see it start breaking down.
Okay.
So,
like here? Or is this just falling off because of the...
starting to break. And obviously this, again, when we go back to how much do you use, and if you overfill it, it's going to take a lot longer for it to break down.
Right.
So again, if it's Sunday and you're working on your car at home and you're going to spend all day on it and you want to impress the neighbours, way, smash it on there. It's going to look awesome. As a detailing business, you know, we want it to be effective and do its job, but I don't want to sit around for 10 minutes waiting for it, if that makes sense, because it's dead time for us as a business. But I mean, it's starting to get there, and as you can see, what it's doing is pulling down nice and slowly. And the idea of the snow foam is to pull that layer of dirt and crap off of your car so that you don't contact it, because anytime you touch a vehicle, even with just your finger, yeah, if we were to touch the paint on the car and it was dry, you're going to put marring or light marring and scratches in. And there's nothing worse, particularly, you know, this car's going up to the show, when we see people at car shows get dry microfiber cloths, no lubrication, and dust their car down. All you're literally doing is taking those small fine particles of dust in your microfiber and effectively sanding the top of your paint. It's on a micro level, it's that bad. So always use some form of lubrication. Now it's contact wash. So with contact wash, we always use the 2-bucket method. 1 bucket with your shampoo in. Always preferable to use something like a microfiber wash mitt like these. Yep.
That's your one, isn't it? That's the Zirconite one, is this?
It is one. Yeah, it's one of ours. One of our pre-embroidery ones, actually. We've now got these nicely embroidered, but they're nice and thick, and they'll pull the dirt away.
I've used one of these. You kindly gave me one of these, and I've used it. What I like is the fact that there's like an inner layer, an inner like foam layer.
Yeah, they're actually quite comfortable to use.
Yeah, exactly. So they actually hold some of their shape.
That's it. And yeah, and softens it as well when you're using it. So 1 bucket full of shampoo, 1 bucket full of clean water. Yep.
With a grit guard.
With a grit guard. The idea, what you want to see ultimately at the end is when you rinse off in here, all your dirt will get trapped in here. This one, the actual liquid solution should still be clear and nice and clean. Start from top down. We don't want to be scrubbing the paintwork in any way, shape or form. In fact, I typically, when I use these, don't put any pressure on them, because most of the dirt should have come off with the pre-wash phases anyway, i.e. your snow foam and your pre-rinse. So 1 panel at a time, or half a panel, back into your rinse bucket to get any particles off, and then back into your shampoo, and then do the other section of the roof.
Now, what about using hot or cold water or lukewarm water? Does it matter?
We always have warm water here because we're quite lucky. we have a nice unit, and it's nicer on my hands.
But in terms of paintwork?
But paintwork, you don't want to be chucking ice cold water on a really hot windscreen, for example, because that could potentially crack it on a really hot day. And similarly, if it's a really cold day, it's the old story of ice on the windscreen. You don't want to chuck boiling water on that because it could crack the screen, couldn't it? So, warm water is a nice luxury. Is it going to make a huge amount in terms of difference? A little bit, but let the chemicals do their work. Because rather than you scrubbing at paintwork, which is what typically people will do, let the chemical do the work, and then you want to touch your car as little as possible to stop you imparting scratches.
Something I do, so I can remember which one's clean and which one's dirty, because, right, so you've done this a couple of times now. Those 2 buckets, when you come and look at them, look almost exactly the same now.
Yep.
I'll put cold water in the rinse off bucket and nice hot water in the...
Do you?
My charge bucket. Yeah, that's my charge bucket, and then that's my clean bucket.
Yeah, I mean, that works. I mean, there's no hard and fast rule to it, to be honest with you, because...
Bet you any money he uses that tip now. Bet you any money.
Yeah, see, that's the contamination. We don't... That's why you always want to start at the top and work down, because what we don't want to do is take that back up a panel.
No. You're washing it down again now, Chris.
Yep.
Have you completed your...
Yeah, so contact wash phase is done. So essentially now what we'll look to do is do a chemical decon on it.
Right.
So there's 2 stages to that. Some people go, well, you could clay bar the car. My hands are damp, so it doesn't feel like it needs it. That's the first thing, because normally with a clay bar, you'll get, or a requirement for a clay bar, you'll feel little particles on the paint, and it'll sound rough as well. Your cars, I mean, it's well looked after, and you can tell that you garage it and stuff like that anyway. So this clay barring it to a certain degree possibly would be overkill. We'll have a proper look at it, but before you want to do clay barring, because if you use a clay bar, effectively that little lump of clay is going to put scratches on the paint. So what you don't want to do is you don't want to clay bar the car and leave it, because you put scratches in. So only clay bar really if you're going to polish. That's one tip that we'd always recommend. But before you clay bar, and to reduce the requirement for that, you can use a 2 chemical stage. One is fallout remover, and The one we'll use is the same stuff that we used on the wheels because it's fallout remover and wheel cleaner. So again, we don't like to double up on products if we don't need to. So you use that product first, literally spray it all over the car, allow that to dwell and pull all of those iron particles out. And then the next phase, once that's rinsed off, is to use a product called tar and glue remover. Tar and glue obviously removes road tar. So those little spots of black that you find in places, it'll eat into that and pull those off. Let the chemicals do the work before you have to touch the car. Now this stuff it's not the worst one on the market actually. It's a relatively nice smell for this type of product. Normally they've got a real sulfury type eggy smell to them. This one's, I mean, it's not the most pleasant, you know, it's not the sort of thing you'd put on your neck to go out clubbing with, let's be honest. But it's not horrendous.
I tell you what did smell nice, because I've used your products at home.
Yep.
The interior detailer.
Oh yeah, that's nice that. So I'm literally just putting this on every single panel of the car, letting it run down and do its own thing. And on white cars, this is quite dramatic. You're not going to see it so much on your car because of the colour. But particularly if they're covered in a lot of fallout.
And when you say fallout, what's that, like tree sap or?
No, it's typically iron particles, brake dust from other cars. If your car's never been fallout removed, or you've never used fallout remover, like white cars can literally start turning pink and you can just see it drain down the car. It's quite impressive.
Finished spraying the fallout remover on it,
yeah,
which was the same stuff that you used on the wheels.
Yeah, because it's both paintwork, it's paintwork safe, it's pH neutral, it's designed to go on paintwork and wheels. No, that's one of the things that our manufacturing facility do. They don't go, you need two different products if one does the, so we literally just sell the one product rather than you buying two bits off of us basically.
And what have you got to like put anything on it now or like
no,
move
it's
it
just
on?
literally spray it on, allow it to dwell down, give it a few minutes. Normally what you'd see, as I say, you're not going to see it on your colour car because it's dark purple and the stuff turns purple. So you're not going to see it so much. But allow it to dwell down, you'll see the change on most other colour cars. With your car, we're just going to we've left it for 2 or 3 minutes to do its work and then literally rinse it off. You know, some people like to take a wash mitt round and wipe it into the car. Well, we've already washed the car once. So the potential for, again, the more you touch the vehicle, the more chance you've got of putting marring and scratches in. We like to let the chemical do its job, rinse it off. There's one less time you've got to touch the paintwork. So this is tar and glue remover. The idea of this is to remove any tar spots that your car will have picked up. Now normally you get it behind the front wheels if it's got flared out rear quarters here and behind the back wheels. So lower sections of most doors, rears of cars if it's got a flat back like a van or 4x4s, really suck it in there. But again,
is that purely off the road, like as the road gets hot and...
Yeah, just off the road and bits, you know, it's a bit like marbles, you know, from a, not to the same extent, but from a Formula 1 car, you see the marbles at the side of the road, well, your car just picks up little bits of that crap and road tar, and that's what tar and glue remover gets off.
I'm assuming this is just the same, Chris, as the last one?
Yeah, let the product sit and dwell for a little while. Again, I'm not a fan of massaging it in or spreading it around too much. I'd much rather, personally, apply a lot more product, let it do its job, and then just rinse it away. Smells great, this. Have a smell of this.
Oh,
I know.
Oh my God.
It's delicious, isn't it?
You just want to drink it. I wouldn't.
No, don't do that. So fast wax and protect. Technically you use this, so the car's still wet, Yep. And with Fast Wax and Protect, you can use it at this stage. You know, if you're just washing your car on a regular basis, you could use this, spray this over the car. You can either put it through a snow foam cannon or dilute it down and put it in a trigger spray like this. Spray it all over the car, and it will provide 3 to 4 weeks of wax protection just from doing that. But it's also a really cool drying aid. Okay, so we're actually using it only today on the basis of using it as a drying aid, because we're going to machine polish it off anyway. So you just need to apply a few squirts to each panel. You can smell that now, I should imagine.
Oh, I wish there was smelly vision. It smells like, I don't know, like a really fruity cocktail, or...
That's it. Yeah.
Well, like tutti frutti.
Tutti frutti, passion fruity, or whatever. The method you should use with a jet wash, if you're going to apply it like this, is a little bit alien to a lot of people, because you apply the jet wash backwards, effectively, so you go from the bottom upwards. If I was to spray it straight down, it's going to take the product straight off.
Okay.
Yep, so what you want to do is walk the product upwards.
Okay.
Makes sense? And then just so it spreads a little bit nicer over the panel. And then what you'll see is you should be able to, as a drying agent, dry pretty much most of the car without touching it and just using water tension. See that?
No way. That's
pretty mad, isn't it?
I am so impressed with that. Now, Chris, you have a very important job of getting this ready. However, the man with the most important job,
Jacob is here with
you.
the tea.
Jacob.
Lad, well done.
What have we got? So this. Oh. Is that because of my nightmare dog? You've got a camera on you. Just to show people that, people think I'll just stand around doing nothing. I'm not. I'm filming and drinking coffee.
Yeah.
Look, see?
Multitasking. Right, drying towels. Always use them on the glass first, just to damp the towel down. Okay. Then you're not looking to scrub the paintwork. All you're literally looking to do, place it on and pull it off.
Right, I know there was 2 of you going at that.
Yep.
But you weren't particularly rushing round.
No.
That was 90 seconds.
Yep. Right, we better have a look at your paint then, buddy. So this is a paint thickness gauge.
Oh, I've seen these. Is that beaming to your phone? Wow.
Yeah, well this is one of the nicest ones on the market, we think, because what it does is, one, it creates a report, which I'll be able to give to you in PDF. And what it does is you place it, it tells you, it's an idiot's guide one. It tells you where to place the measuring tool on the actual car at any time to take a nice mix of readings.
And then it gives you that report, and
then it gives me the report at the end, which saves me.
You don't have to remember stuff then either, do you?
Scribbling it down on paper and looking unprofessional. Yeah, more to the point, or forgetting. Skip all of the information.
Ooh.
This is the important bit.
Ooh. What does this mean here?
Okay, so it works on a traffic light system. Green's good, red's bad.
Oh God, that's very dark red.
Yeah. So
no.
you've got a couple of bits of consideration in terms of what we do with the car, and this is why it's important that, you know, if you go and see a professional detailer with your pride and joy, they should be taking paint depth readings, because, you know, if we brought the car straight in and went, right Tim, yeah, no worries, I'm going to machine polish it, I'm going to do several stage polish, you know, cut it really hard, then refine it back, blah blah blah, then if I haven't taken a paint thickness gauge measurement and get this kind of output, then you can see that your car's different thicknesses in different areas. So the bonnet is quite thin, hence why it's come up red. Yep. Driver's door's a bit thin in comparison to the other, that side. And then you've got fairly nice paint on your near side rear quarter in comparison to the two front panels there. So what this makes...
I know, the paint's all different thicknesses, it's fine.
So it's fairly typical, you know, and that's when we do a lot of classic cars here, for us to look at this kind of thing and see a patchwork result.
Okay.
Because things get painted and replaced at different points. Now what I'm doing is I'm doing a visual inspection of the paint, looking at marring, scratches, imperfections. So I don't know if you can pick this up on your camera, you should be able to. Circular motion.
Yeah.
Yep. That's what we call micro marring.
Yes.
Got that?
Yeah, I can see that, yeah.
So that is actually from wash technique. When you wash or wipe down your car, hello pup, that's what gets put into the paintwork. That's a scratch, which is more noticeable, yeah, you can pick that one up.
Yeah.
And this one here, that's like a bird lime or tree sap imperfection, see that? A little dot.
Yep.
One there as well. But it's only minor, it's not horrendous in any way, shape or... Oh, there's some. You'll get that one.
Where's that one? Oh, yeah.
Yeah? It's like a circular one there. And there. So, it's not horrendous by any way, shape or form. It just gives us an idea of what we're looking at. Then what we want to do is we want to spot test it with some different compounds. So, as I said earlier on, you want to go in with the softest approach possible. So you get different grades of foam pads. This is a really soft one. Have a feel.
Ooh, that's like a memory foam mattress. It's even softer than that. It's like...
Yeah, it's really soft. That's medium, which is probably more like your mattress.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yep. Then a hard one. Ooh, let's grab a hard one. Feel that.
What?
It's like really hard, isn't it?
Yeah.
Now, people kind of panic when they feel those. They go, oh my God, you're going to put that on the paintwork of my car. Well, the idea is that the heat gets generated into it.
Yeah.
If I put some heat into it, feel that now.
Oh yeah. Oh wow.
So much softer it gets.
Yeah, and you can actually see like there.
In comparison
and then
to there.
all of a sudden you get to the point where your breath is sort of like...
Where there's no heat come through to it, yeah. So those are quite aggressive. And then different grades of compounds. We use the surface range of compounds here. P40 is a extra fine cut, so this is like the lowest level of cut. And then P15 is a mid one. And then we've got P12, which is a heavy cut. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try P40 first with the soft pad. Lowest level of cut, softest pad. See what it does to the paint, see if it affects it enough. If it does, great, we'll probably run with that combination because you've got a little bit of paint. If it's not enough in terms of cut and taking out the scratches and the marring, then we can, it's an interchangeable system. We can move from that with a soft pad to a medium pad to up the level of cut and aggressiveness. Or we could use P15 and a soft pad. So you kind of go up in half steps. I've masked off a section. We're only going to literally polish this little bit here for a little while with some P40 on the soft pad. This is a dual action. See, it spins and it goes elliptical. Right. See how we get on. Okie dokie. So, a quick little pass with that. A little buff off with the cloth.
What are you looking for now?
So I'm looking to see how the paint's reacting to that particular compound, which I can still see scratches and marring in it. You see those?
Yeah.
So it's not cutting enough, if that makes sense, at that level, because they're still in there. Yeah?
But you can still see
that it's lifting the gloss slightly.
Yeah.
Yeah, from there to there. So that's not enough. I'm going to step it up one complete step, as it were.
hard pad and slightly hard compound.
Yeah. Exactly that. It might be quite difficult to pick up on your camera. Move this dust out of the way. But that, in comparison to back here, has taken those marks out. I think we found where we'll be working, which will be P15, medium cut compound, orange pad.
Do you want that side repeater popping out?
No. What we'll do, we'll work with this size polisher to a level around it, and then what we've got is a mini polisher, which is up there, which we can take right up against it.
You okay in there? It's been a full day working on the car, and it is looking, well, in my eyes it looks awesome already, but it's not quite finished.
Not quite. So we've got a fair way in terms of machine polishing. So we've done front wing, front bumper, rear boot lids, rear quarter on both sides. We've got the doors to do, this front wing, front bumper to do. And then that's all of the paintwork corrected, roof rails, etc. Door handles have been done, door mirrors rather. So yeah, a lot's been done. Tomorrow we'll finish polishing off in the morning, then we'll be laying down some paint protection and some finishing steps, cleaning the glass up, dressing the tyres, doing a few other little bits, and then it'll be all nice and ready for your show.
But look how good this is looking. Are you pleased with it?
I'm never pleased with work. There's always bits that you kind of go, we could do a bit more there, but at some point you've got to stop yourself.
You haven't seen the car before today?
No.
I said it was a bit of an odd colour, didn't I?
I think it's a cracking colour. We've been looking at it under the lights in here, and when we move the big lights round and what have you, the difference in how it appears under different lights is just mega. It's a real unusual colour. You know, we stood in one position and it looks pure purple, moved back across, and then it just kind of fades to black and then appears purple again. So yeah, it's one of those that it would just constantly change throughout the day, I should imagine. It's just, yeah, it's gonna look mega when it's done.
Yeah, it's almost 5 o'clock, so it's been a full-on day.
Yeah.
We've done well. Well, I say you have done well.
Oh, you've been busy doing stuff.
Yeah, well, all I do is point cameras at stuff. You're the ones actually doing work.
Hey, we'll get you putting some of the protection products on tomorrow. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, you can hold the cameras.
Yeah, why not? It's easy.
Okay, done. So that's what's happening tomorrow.
Switch it up a bit.
Got one last thing for you.
Go on.
She's dropped the ball. Look.
Now you're in trouble.
Where's it gone? Day 2, they're already inside working on the car, and she couldn't be left at home again, so let's go see how they're getting on today. When we finished yesterday, they were machine polishing it and they'd done about half of the car, so it's about 10:30, so let's see how we're getting on. Here we go. Oh, morning both.
Morning, how are we?
How are we doing?
Not too bad.
You're here bright and early.
Well, we've got to, haven't you?
How are we getting on? Yes, the dog's back.
That's fine.
Aren't you?
No, we're good. This side to do. So, quarter panel, bottom, door, front wing, this side of the roof. That's all the polishing done.
Wow.
And then we'll give it a clean up with some panel prep, make sure it's ready to go, and then we'll start coating.
Fantastic. And yesterday we were working on scraps that was on here,
Yep.
which is now gone. I can't even see where it was. It's looking very good though. Really good. What we got left to do then today, Chris?
So, finish polishing, panel wipe, which is a solvent cleaner, take that all the residues etc. off. Then we're going to apply a product called NanoGlaze, which is a PTFE polymer coating. Sounds posh, doesn't it? It's a really nice coating, goes on like a wax, lasts up to 2 years. Real simple, easy product for consumers and professionals to use. So that's going to go on the bodywork. And then we're going to do panel prep, and you're going to coat the wheels, I think.
Oh, okay. I'm getting involved today. Right.
I think you should have a go with NanoGlaze as well, just to prove how easy it is.
Righto. Jacob.
Yes.
How are you with cameras?
Well, I'll try.
Well, we'll find out later.
And then obviously tidy the glass up. We'll coat the glass on the exterior and all the lights, etc. Quick tidy up under the bonnet just in case somebody wants to have a look.
I forgot about that, you know. I was going to ask you if we were going to do any dressing on the engine. I thought, I bet that was probably
I've had a quick look. It's not grimy. So
okay.
Yes, normally in terms of wash process, you do the engine bay first because it's the dirtiest thing. But we can tidy it up just for the NEC Classic. It will look all fine. It will look fine. And then yeah, that's it. It's almost there really.
Fantastic. Me and Mascot then. We will go and start editing all of this together while these guys actually do some hard work on this. And you are going to stay out the way today, aren't you?
No.
No, of course not. Right, I'm now going to start editing through all the footage from yesterday so we can get this video online before the show. So if you're watching this, it was edited while I were polishing the car in the background there. Oh, there we go, look at that. Look how cool that is.
And they are so nice. Let me bring the dog. The dog loves them.
Right, let's crack on with the edit.
2 hours later.
Right, Tim, are you ready?
Hang on, whoa, come, look. What are these?
Gloves.
Yeah, why are you wearing gloves?
Are you ready? The car's been polished, it's ready to go now. What we thought we'd do is we'd get you involved and let you have a go at coating your wheels with a ceramic coating.
I'm up for this.
Right,
yes, let's do that. So you finished all the polishing?
Polishing's finished.
Ooh. Oh, wow.
She's getting there.
Wow.
We were talking about protecting your wheels. We spoke about it when we cleaned them the other day. So they're clean, they're ready to go. They just need to be panel prepped, which is a solvent cleaner. Dogs get involved. And then we can apply ceramic coating. But I wanted to show you, there's a lot of myths in the industry about how difficult ceramic coating cars can be or isn't, or is. We'll show you how easy it is to do. What we want to do first and foremost is give the wheels a bit of a wipe down with what's called panel prep. So panel prep is a solvent cleaner. Comes in these aerosols.
Okay.
Yep. So take that, spray it all over the face of the alloy.
All over the alloy.
Yep.
Ooh.
They're an interesting. They've got a pump inside.
Yeah,
them,
that's
so
cool. More or less.
That's enough. There's no propellant in terms of it's ozone friendly and keeps the Johnny Polar Bears all safe and
Smells nice.
and clean. So give that a wipe off, because that's literally just a final degreaser effectively. Right, this stuff. So these are little finger pads with what's called micro suede on them.
These look very similar to what my wife has in the bathroom for cleansing her makeup.
Yeah, similar kind of thing. So, a couple of fingers in there.
She's going to see these, but can you get me some of these to take home? Because mine haven't got the little finger or anything.
That's it. So, ZQ5 is a quartz rim coating, ceramic coating for wheels. It's specifically designed for wheels. Okay. Now, you don't need a lot. That will cover the entire face of that wheel. Okay. So literally...
It's quite a big face as well, isn't
yeah,
it?
it is a big face, but start at a single point at 12 o'clock and work left or right. It's entirely up to you. But make sure you cover every section of the face of the wheel.
Right. It feels almost like a gel as it's going on.
Yeah, it's not. It's slightly thicker than some ceramic coatings, mainly because of its solvent base and the quality of the solvent carrier that's in it. So that's it. Now with ceramic coatings which are solvent based, they do what's called flashing off. Now flashing off is where effectively the solvent evaporates away and leaves the ceramic coating itself, thank you buddy, on the alloy wheel.
Right.
With our ceramic coatings, they typically take about 60 to 90 seconds to do that.
Okay.
Now, the only challenge you'll ever have is with alloy wheels, silver wheels like these. It's very difficult to actually see it flash off.
Okay.
On some colours, you'll see it and it goes like a rainbow and water effect, like oil and water.
Right.
Yep. And once that's pretty uniform across the entire section of the paint or whatever you're doing, then it's time to remove it.
Okay.
So, that's nearly there. And then just buff away.
Just wipe off, yeah?
Yep. The important thing being, make sure you get every bit of it off in terms of where you've applied it to. There you go.
I've just spotted something as well.
Go on.
These little plastic covers on the wheel nuts.
Yeah.
They've got little marks on, obviously, where somebody's
Where they've been ratcheted on before.
I'm going to get on eBay today and get those replaced. There's no way. I'm going to be there.
You're going to leave it like that?
I know. I'm going to be there on Saturday, like messing around with the Calibra. Like, what's he doing? Like, shh, just changing these.
That's it. You've just ceramic coated your first wheel. It's as easy as that.
That's pretty good, isn't it? That.
Yeah. And that will last a year. It will help keep the wheels clean. In fact, you know, a lot of dirt will get on them, and you'll be able to blast them off without having to hit it with harsh chemicals. So.
On the Calibra Turbo, the four-wheel drive system's very, very sensitive.
Yeah.
So if a tyre is more than 2 mil out to any other tyre on the car, it throws the transfer box.
Oh wow.
And it really doesn't like it at all. So every 1,000 miles the car's up and wheels go front to back to keep the tread fairly even amongst them all. So last time I did that, I cleaned all the inside of the rim as well.
So good idea. Next time, when you take them off, give the wheels of the inside of the wheels a really good clean, you know, with shampoo and stuff like you would normally. Then use some panel prep to make sure they're fully degreased, and then stick that on the inside of the wheel, and then the inside of the wheel will stay looking like that.
Right, I knew this was going to start getting expensive. I knew I That's looking pretty good to me already, but you're saying it's not done yet.
No. So now we've got to stage 1, which basically is before NanoGlaze being applied, we have to clean it, make sure there's no contaminants or anything left on the paintwork.
You need to clean this.
Yes, need to clean it again. So it's just a simple, put it on a cloth and wipe it down, and then wipe it back off, and it's pretty quick, pretty easy, and then we can apply the coating and get it all done.
And what's the coating we're using, Chris?
The coating we are using is a product called NanoGlaze, which is a polymer PTFE coating. It goes on like a wax, but it's a lot stronger than a wax, lasts a lot longer. And it's got some slight filling properties to it, but it delivers a nice high gloss finish, nice hydrophobic effect as well. So
it's different to ceramic.
different to ceramic. it's a completely different type of ball game. I'll show you the two actually. So a ceramic coating comes in a bottle like this. That's ZQ9. That's a 30ml bottle. That would treat a Range Rover. So this is a 1 car pack.
Got you.
Ultimately. So this is your stage 1, which is your pre-cleaner. And then stage 2 is the actual glaze itself, which is like a wax, yeah?
Oh yeah.
So different types of products, both have good protective qualities. The idea of using this on your particular car, because it's had a respray and it's a little bit older and blah blah blah, this has got some nice filling properties, so it will just deliver a better finish and still protect it for 2 years.
So how much product have you put on that, Chris?
Just enough to get it damp, really. You don't want to go too crazy with it.
And this buffs, does it, or do you just wait for it like we did with the wheels?
No, so this essentially is a degreaser. It's just taking off any of the residues left by the compounds that we used to make the panel nice and clean for the application of the actual protective layer itself.
So is that stage 1 complete?
Stage 1 done. Easy as that.
That was 10 minutes.
Yeah, it doesn't take long. So stage 2 is the actual glaze itself.
Okay.
Comes with these application sponges. I've slightly dampened it with a bit of water.
Oh, the detailers hate sponges though.
Yeah, but it's not a sponge. It's a polish application system. And you put a little line of product like that. Squish it in so it's nice and even on the application pack, sponge, whatever you want to call it. Just take a small section, like a quarter or so, and then cross hatch it so it's nice and evenly spread. Make sure we get right in the corners, and then move on to the next area.
How do you know when to reload?
It just starts getting a bit thin on the panel.
Okay. Because all I say about like with wax, you don't want to apply too much.
Yeah. Like you don't want to apply too much, but then also you want to make sure you give it a fairly nice even coverage, like that's spreading really well, yeah.
I've been given gloves again. Getting involved. So yesterday all I was doing was messing around with the camera and drinking coffee. Now I'm messing around with the camera and polishing the car. And trying to keep the dog quiet. Shush. Yeah, that's right, be scared. Last time you saw these gloves was when you were at the vet's. Where are we going?
Going on the roof to do this other half.
Front to back or me
Whatever
first?
way works for you. I'll probably put it in the middle because there's quite a lot of product obviously, first of all. And then you just got to spread it around.
It's very satisfying to put on. Whenever I wash the cars outside, I always put the dog on a lead and tie her to something. And she sits there quiet the whole time.
That's because we're here today, that's why.
We're talking to someone other than you. Be quiet. You do know what the comments on this video are going to be, don't you?
What's that?
Can't you get that bloody dog to shut up?
That's alright, we're bleeping. Is it just overlap by about 50%?
It feels weird doing this, you know, because obviously like, you can see the lines that the product's leaving. And I've just seen how much time and effort you've put into taking all those lines out of the paintwork and marring out of the paintwork, and then I'm here rubbing this up and down. I'm like, oh my god.
So, idea being is you give it a bit of a wipe over to kick off with. Take the worst of it off. And she leaves that nice slick finish.
Wow. Pretty much there. We're going to pull it outside. There's a little bit of sun over there for 1 photos, and to 2 check all the products are off the car. But you're just doing final touches now. So what have you finished off now with, Chris?
So bodywork's done. We've ceramic coated the trims just to darken those up and restore those a bit. And that's down the side panels as well. Jake's just going over the glass, give that a bit of a quick glass cleanup. And then once we've checked all of the NanoGlaze, it's always best to do a daylight check. We'll check that all the NanoGlaze has been removed, get a couple of quick photos, fetch it back in, and then we'll just we'll give it an hour to settle down. And then what we'll do is we'll put a product on called ZG365. You technically don't need it, but because the car's going to go to a show, we just want to give it that little bit of extra gloss.
Little bit of extra gloss.
A little bit more.
If I turn the filter around on the end of this, just look at it. To me, that just looks absolutely spectacular. I know it's my car, so obviously I'm going to be enthusiastic about it, but even if it wasn't, I'd be like, oh wow, that's nice.
Yeah, I think it looks awesome. I do. I mean, it was a nice condition vehicle anyway, so we're quite lucky from our perspective. But you know, what we've done over the last 2 days, maybe apart from a bit of machine polishing, which most hobbyists or car enthusiasts won't want to do themselves, but outside of that, we've used stuff that's readily available. You know, it's not as if we've gone crazy with stuff that's out of the league of most people to use. So.
Quick recap then, Chris. It arrived here yesterday morning.
Yep, arrived here with a little layer of film and traffic grime and dust and stuff on it. We did a pre-rinse, a snow foam, a contact wash, a
Decon wash,
chemical decon wash. Then we used a drying aid to rinse it all off, get it dried, brought it in to do a visual inspection of the paint. Then what we also did was paint depth thickness,
yep,
to tell us what we could play with in terms of correcting any scratches and marring. It's hasn't got a lot of paint left on it, so we didn't go too mad. We did a single stage polish using our all-in-one step polish compound. Then it was panel wipe down. Then we applied a product called NanoGlaze, which is a 2-year polymer coating, and we've dressed the tyres. The trims have been ceramic coated to deepen those up. Just give the glass a quick clean, and that's the stage it's at now.
What's left? There can't be anything else, surely.
What's left? Quick tidy up of the engine bay, which we'll do during the week before it goes up to the NEC, and then we're going to just layer it with one final little touch of a product called ZG365, which is a graphene infused spray on buff off coating, just to give it that a little bit of extra depth, more than that, so that you can be really happy with it. Don't really need it, but it's just, you know, why not?
I am so pleased with that. I can't believe that's my car. I've always wanted a car like that clean and to that standard, and to actually have it now is just madness. So we're going to pull it back inside now, where they're going to finish off with that ZG365. They're going to apply that, which will give it an even deeper gloss. So I'm not going to share that with you. If you want to see that, you'll have to watch the next video of us transporting the car up to the NEC, or one of the videos from the Classic Motor Show at the NEC, which is coming next weekend. Or of course, if you're going to that show, you can see this on the Club Calibra stand, which is in Hall 5, I believe. I'll put a link below. Also linked below are these guys. Please check out Zirconite. This isn't sort of like a paid for, you know, they haven't paid me to make this video or anything like that. You know, this is purely them working away and me filming what they do best. I've used their products myself, and I think their products are fantastic. So I'll put a link to those guys in the description below. Please do check them out, and also check out their socials because they are awesome. A big thank you to Chris and Jacob and the rest of the team here for not only sorting the car out, but also looking after Willow, who's been a bit of a challenge this week. She won't be at the NEC. If you've enjoyed this video, underneath it you'll find a thumbs up. Hit that, and if you've enjoyed it, hopefully you've enjoyed it enough for me to earn a subscription from you. You can find the subscribe button underneath this video as well. I publish new videos every week, usually from shows and events all over the UK, or of course on my many fleet of cars, one of which is behind us and is now on its way to the NEC. So thank you once again for watching this video, guys. I'll see you again soon, or at the NEC next weekend. It was a mistake buying you that toy, wasn't it? Go on. You know what I was saying about people walking in front of the camera?